Right, so let's try this walking and talking thing again and try to not miss my train. So we are 3 weeks out this week. It's been a very good weight in terms of fat loss and kind of like managing where my head's at, which has been fantastic. It has been a busy week. It's the last week I've had to cover an extra shift in the gym. It is what it is. It's an extra money which I can't say no to, but it does just make my days a bit hectic. And a lot of people will watch this and be like, fucking Kieran, I know you don't do anything. This is very true. Between my normal set hours in the gym and my PT hours, I only work 24 hours a week, which is a part-time job. Obviously not including everything to do at home, the online coaching, but I don't really see that as like, I guess the term would be billable hours. Purely because I'm sitting at home with my dog at my feet, usually with a podcast on, at my desk. It's not really the same. Like, if I need to go do steps, I can go do steps, and if I need to go grab a meal, I can grab a meal. There's no, like, I'm not confined into set hours with like a regular schedule. And obviously because of that, having that extra 10 hours in the gym, it's just made these last 2 weeks somewhat tighter with some of the stuff I've had to do, and obviously then being on low food, low energy, low sleep. But it is what it is. No complaints. So yeah, last week we're doing that, which is nice. Next week will be a chill week. It'll be like the last proper week where I'm trying to put a shift in, I think. I think the plan's to have me ready by next weekend, which I'm pretty close-ish, in my opinion. Ooh, just checking the time. Like, there's still fat to come off. You can always be more shredded, you can always be drier, you can always be harder, you can always be more conditioned. But for example, like, I know the fat on my ass, which is always the last to come off, is really starting to dissipate and fuck off now, because even when I'm on the bike doing my cardio in the morning, without going into too much detail, I end up sitting on, like, I guess the proper term would be gooch, that gap between my balls and my ass, because there's just not as much fat on my ass cheeks anymore. So then what's happening is I'm getting like this numbness feeling around my my nether region, which isn't comfortable, to say the least. I have been on very low energy. Like yesterday, after a PT client, and before essentially my shift started, I was genuinely like falling asleep in the office. I was trying to stay awake, but my head was just kind of dipping. So yesterday, actually, because I had my coffee in the morning as I normally do, I had a second coffee in my bag, but that was at like 12:30, and I'm training at 8 at night, so I didn't want to like have another coffee then and then be left without anything. So I had a can of Monster yesterday. First time I had a can of Monster, anything like that, and energy drinks in a good while, and it didn't destroy my digestion, which is nice. So, pretty confident that I have a good understanding of what I can and can't eat, what I can and can't drink, what I can and can't do with regards to stomach and gut health, which is a huge win, because in the past I didn't know what the causes were. I was very kind of at a loss as to like food choices, diet choices, what I can eat, what I can't eat, what vegetables to eat, what vegetables to not eat, what fruit to be eating to help with the issues, what fruit not to be eating to help with issues. But now that I've educated myself on the subject as much as I physically can and continue to do so, the understanding of the issue has vastly improved, which then has the drastic benefit with regards to diet and just overall feeling good. So no changes have been made since that initial pull of carbs on my rest day. So no changes since the last video done. We've just seen it through. It's probably the biggest thing I've learned from Brad is if you're changing and things are progressing, why change anything else for the sake of changes? And obviously in the past, with previous coaches, that would be the case. I'd be checking in every second day, every third day, and I'd be getting a change. Let's say I'm checking in 3 times a week, I'd get a change at least 2 out of those 3 times. So it's been a very, very good decision with my bodybuilding journey. To get on board with Brad. The biggest, probably news, if you want to call it news, is that I'm no longer doing the Germany Pro Qualifier, which is going to be at the end of October. That's going to be on the 28th of October. I initially chose that show because the Two Bros British was the same weekend as the PCA British, and I didn't really look into where they were because I didn't like the idea of doing 2 shows in one weekend. But because of plain and simple the Germany show getting really expensive really quick, I initially thought it was going to cost me like a total $1,000, maybe a bit more than that, but it's going to be around about 2k. And if I'm taking Lucy away for $2,000, I don't want to be dieting or standing on stage, especially because it's like getting my feet wet within the pro qualifier leagues and realms. Like, it's not I'm going for a pro card, it's let's see how I do. So now the plan's to do the Two Bros British on the Saturday, quickly shoot down the road Saturday after the show, go to Telford for the PCA British. So that's the plan. It may mean some smart tweaking and peaking rather on Brad's end, but if anyone can do it, he is the man. So yeah, so made the train. So yeah, so that's the
next
probably
is Western Hills.
the main news since the last prep update. I'm really getting into honing in my training volume, kind of understanding what I'm going to need to do going into the off season, what I plan to do going into the off season with regards to like the post show phase, going into the off season and progressing from there. The one thing I am changing is my routine. It is dialed down to a T, and I don't want to lose that in the past prep. 2 past preps. Life has kind of happened to me at the end of the prep, and it just is what it is. But 2016, which was probably my most significant change in look, from 2016 to 2017, nothing changed. I got home from the show on the Sunday, which is the UK BFF British Finals, when I competed as a junior the first time, and then the next day I was back at work, working PT and training, getting back on my bullshit to grow, and that's the plan. No holidays, no time off, no breaks in routine, just back to it,
Glasgow Central High Level.
back on the grind, and then I'm just gonna, Lucy and I will plan holidays and getaways and stuff when need be. Like, we've got our
station is Western Hills.
weekend away planned in London early December, which is kind of perfect because that's around with the 6 weeks into
The gap between the train
that
and
push
the
show
platform
phase,
as you leave the
so
train.
probably needs just a bit of a break mentally, which would be good. So yeah, I'm really enjoying bodybuilding again. I feel like I've got my love for it again. I feel so much more clear-headed with what I can actually achieve with doing what I need to be doing. I think it was James Hornshed said not long after he turned pro was that you need to approach it like a pro years and years in advance prior to actually turning pro.
This is
And
Wester Hills.
I've always done that in a prep setting, and then going into the off season, for whatever reasons, I don't have that
This train
application.
is for Glasgow Central
I get meals
High
in, train my ass off, I get my jags in, but I don't do the little things that all add up to
Level. The next
just better
station
digestion
is
and
Curry Hill.
better managing stress levels and being a bit more in tune with just what's going on. And then I get into a prep and that mindset shifts, and everything just feels better. Mentally I feel better, more clear-headed. So that's the biggest focus, is after the 15th of October, when prep's done. Prep's not actually done, we're continuing onwards. Goal doesn't change. So yeah.